Last time I told us about Kenya has experienced fires. Kenya has experienced fires. And the fires Kenya has experienced, I call them ghost fires. The schools in Kenya experiences ghost fires, and I've given as reasons as to why. And I may want to also follow the same and introduce us to, warn Kenya about blood covenants. So that's number one. Number two, about Kalonzo, why he won't be president. And number three, is the fate of Gachagua's appeal, appealing his impeachment. And maybe more shall come in between. Now, let me start with Kenya's blood covenant. Kenya is a nation that not all people are Christians, and more so, but more so persons who are religious. Please, being religious is not Christian. Being religious is not Christian, and please, being Christian is not religious. Differentiate those ones. So we are a very religious nation, but not very Christian nation. So this religious, being a religious nation, we have politicians. And so these politicians, they cut covenants. Political leaders or those aspiring for political positions, they always cut covenant, or they make covenant. So Kenya has these religious outfits that are very spiritual. So spiritists, please, if you're a spiritist, it doesn't mean that you belong to Jesus. Being a spiritist or futuristic, Satan is also spiritist. Actually, Satan is a spirit. So persons who can read into spiritual matters are called spiritists. Please, if you are a spiritist, it doesn't mean that you are Christian. Please, also, it doesn't mean that you have God. There are people who don't have God, and they have insight into the spirit, just like demons are. So political class in Kenya, they seek for the services of those who are spiritists. Persons who want wealth, persons who want to know about their tomorrow, they will seek those ones who are futuristic. Being futuristic is being prophetic. So that will tell you not all prophets are prophets of God. Satan also has got prophets. So not all prophets prophesy from Jesus. There are prophets that prophesy from Satan. So when a nation has strange fires, or when a nation solicits the services of spiritists other than God, Satan will demand from them covenant. And that covenant is the covenant of blood. So there are covenants of blood that binds a people to a certain politician, binds a certain people to certain political leaders, binds certain regions, and also binds certain tribes to particular leaders. So such ties are qualified by blood sacrifice. So those blood sacrifice explains covenants, and also those covenants or those blood sacrifices explains many tragedies we have in the republic. Strange accidents, strange fires, strange deaths, strange occurrences, strange calamities. That is what a nation reaps if they choose not to serve God, but instead seek for Satan's help. And that's how foolish our politicians are. They don't know that when they actually enter such covenants, they light strange fire. They light strange fire, and Satan never gives anybody free lunch. Satan has no free lunch. Satan has no free gifts. Everything Satan gives, he demands blood, so people will die. And that is why you see our schools inferno, they are actually ghosts of fire, not God who has sent them, they are sent by Satan. So we are at a time when there shall be many more such blood covenants, where you'll be like people disappear mysteriously. Policemen will be killing people mysteriously. Ask them what happened, they will not explain to you. But they are under the influence of certain powers. You find people who mug and maim and rape and kill. Ask them, what happened? Why did you do so? They'll tell you, we don't know. So they are under the influence of unexplainable powers. Those powers are devil's powers. And so we are at a time when many politicians are jostling for positions, MCAs, chiefs, and also members of parliament, who actually want positions. And Satan will be like, okay, we give you something, kill for us people. And sometimes Satan can demand without asking you. Satan is not like God. Satan is a god, a small god. And he can harvest anywhere as long as he has a legal ground. And so that's what happens to the Republic Kenya. I told us about when around the time as we approach August, I told us we'll see a mushrooming of bloodthirsty criminal gangs. These bloodthirsty criminal gangs, they don't just mushroom. There are forces behind them. And in the physical, they may not really be working for the devil. It doesn't look so. But those who understand the spiritual arithmetics, I will tell you that altars that are raised in the land will demand for blood. If a politician cut covenant or make covenant in a certain village, a certain town, a certain city, certain constituency, the witches that are participating in those covenants, their boss is called Satan. And Satan will use those those covenants as a legal ground for people to die. So it will be legal ground for him to harvest blood, harvest souls, harvest people, harvest them. And unfortunately, when such people die, they don't make heaven. Persons who die under such circumstances don't make heaven, because Satan has had you as a sacrifice. So if a Christian dies by satanic machinations, you don't make heaven. So if Satan kills you Christian, if Satan succeeds to kill you, forget about making heaven. You are a blood sacrifice for him. So that's why Christians, we are shamed by God. We don't die by Satan's will. We die by God's will. Someone, hallelujah. And therefore, schools that are burning, I've always told, I tell the state, allow pastors who are anointed to access schools. And they pray for schools. Headmasters and principals whose heads are sober and you are God-fearing. Allow for anointed servants of God to come and pray for your schools. And you must humble yourself and accept that you have need. And government remove those restrictions. Otherwise, you are allowing schools to become altars of death. So schools have got altars that are altars of devils, because when masturbation are done in schools, when sodomy are conducted in schools, when lesbianisms are conducted in schools, demon spirits are actually solicited to come and live in those schools, because they have a legal ground. And when they are actually their appetites are not yet satisfied, they'll seek for more. And those for more means people will die in schools. So there is need for cleansing of schools. Pastors should be, pastors who are true, pastors who are clean, servants of God who are clean. They should actually be sought after by school teachers and principals, so that schools are cleansed. Take it if you care, disregard it if you don't care. May the Lord preserve children of the righteous. One said also, tribal clashes, tribal cleansing, land clashes serve the same purpose. So you find politicians who go berserk, they'll be speaking things that are unpalatable. They'll be making some strange declarations. They'll be making some strange proposals. And you'll find that others are just tribal, some tribal chiefs, parochial kings, person that ride on the platform of their tribes to make some very strange utterances. Please understand that there are powers, spiritual powers, that are behind such reckless utterances. Those strange powers are devil's powers. So you find that there'll be like tribal profiling of tribal elements. If you are Kikuyu, if you are Luo, if you are Kalenjin, if you are Masai, you are Kisi, you are Luya, you're not supposed to stay among such particular tribes. Please, it is not God who is behind it. When you see such political activists or political leaders start jostling and making such statements, just know that there are altars that are demanding for blood. And when those people die, such people come to power. These things are because witches that are dotted all over Kenya, they are being consulted, and they are agents of devils. So you find that there are tribes that are being slaughtered. There are people that are being slaughtered. There are people that are being killed. There's actually a tribal cleansing. There's blood that is shed on the land, and when it's shed on the land, those blood are actually for appeasing Satan. And Nalipua, Satan is paid by blood. Satan is not paid by money. He is paid by blood. And so, around this time, those who are Christians and those who are sober, you know what to do. Please understand, that is how these things happen. So, a nation that is not subject to God, but rather subject to the devil, will have such stuff. So, we are at a time when such things, you'll hear criminal gangs in central Kenya, Nairobi, Kisumu, Mombasa, coastal Kenya. Every region will have them, and they'll be serving this the common thing I've told you. They'll be serving the purpose of binding the land into bloody covenant with Satan. That is sad, but it's happened over Kenya for a long time. And Kenya being a nation where the church is not very strong, there's a lot of room for Satan to behave the way he's behaving.